Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. So today I want to talk about the Denver Broncos and Drew Lock and what I think they're going to do moving forward, whether I think Pat Shurmur is a fit for them, because I think this is very interesting, because Drew Lock made comments about 2 weeks ago. I was going to speak about it, then we had the Super Bowl, we had a lot of other things that are going on, and let me read you the quote. Drew Lock said, I feel one of the biggest things in my game is being able to get out of the pocket and running around, and I want to utilize this year. Speed, quickness, agility, all that kind of stuff will be big for me. So, basically what he wants to be a better, runner. And with Pat Shurmur's offense, that's really important. You need to be able to roll out. You need to be able to be quick on your feet. You don't need to be Lamar Jackson. You don't need to be like Patrick Mahomes. But you need to be somewhat fast on your feet. And what the Denver Broncos did a lot this year with Drew Lock is what I've been seeing. Kevin Stefanski made the offense really simple for him. Get the ball out really quickly. Get it to your playmakers. They lost Emmanuel Sanders, but they still had some decent playmakers on that team. Noah Fant was a huge addition for their team in the offseason. And they wanted Drew Lock just to get the ball out. They wanted him just not to get hit, not to get injured, and it was successful. He went 3-1, 64% completion percentage, and all those stats and stuff like that. I think a 2-1 or 3-1 interception ratio. So he was successful this past year. And I think that, Pat Shurmur will bring some interesting qualities to him, but this running thing is going to be a big deal for him. If you look at the advanced stats for this year, I have them up on the screen. I mean, he down the field wasn't really that accurate. His wide receivers were getting him yards after the catch. In fact, it was sixth if he qualified in the league. He ended up not qualifying since he only played 4 games. And if you also look at other advanced stats, it wasn't too impressive. So it's not like Drew Lock overly impressed everybody. Him and Daniel Jones are pretty comparable. But it is kind of interesting to see the stats in RPO and run pass option and play action. They are somewhat similar to Daniel Jones. He was utilized, so he is familiar with some of the things that Pat Shurmur wants to implement with this team. But Drew Lock is still pretty young, and I think that running may be a little bit of a distraction from him. He should work more in the scheme fitting and learn the new scheme rather than trying to become faster. It may be a little bit too much for him. His 40 time is 4.69, and 3-cone drill is 7.03, I believe, and both of them are better than Daniel Jones. And if I asked you before who's faster, Daniel Jones or Drew Lock, you would say Daniel Jones. And he's faster than Patrick Mahomes too. I'll put up the combine results. Drew Lock is the faster runner and the better athlete, but sometimes in pads, it's different. If you look at the advanced stats for this year, I have them up on the screen. I mean, it's all about the smarts, when to run, how to run. And he has the ability to run. He's just going to need to learn in Pat Shurmur's system. And you don't need to be a great quarterback to learn Pat Shurmur's system. Case Keenum and people say Daniel Jones sucked. I mean, all you have to do is have a good work ethic. That's really all you need. Limited quarterback ability. Daniel Jones didn't have the strongest arm. Neither did Case Keenum. And Pat Shurmur somehow made them successful. But Drew Lock has a big arm, so this is going to be very interesting. Now he actually has a guy with a Jameis Winston-esque arm. Drew Lock is able to air it out. He hasn't been that accurate in the past. Will Pat Shurmur be able to rein him in? Will he use Drew Lock to throw him downfield? This is going to be very interesting. And I think this is very important for the Denver Broncos. Vic Fangio came out with some quotes saying, he's not committing to Drew Lock, which is a little bit of a concern, especially since they went to Brandon Allen before they went to Drew Lock. I know he had a thumb injury, but he was still like, Drew Lock doesn't know the playbook. He doesn't know everything. And another thing with that is he'll be learning his 4th new offense in 4 years, dating back to college. So he struggled last year learning a new offense. How does he learn the offense this year? That's another key storyline to follow. With Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, you knew right away. With Sam Darnold and the Jets, you knew right away. These franchises know. If you have a guy, you start him right away. Joe Flacco was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. And the fact that they had to rein in Drew Lock and, say, we have to keep him sheltered. We can't let him play right away. It's a cause of concern. Now, Pat Shurmur made some comments like, Drew Lock, we wanted him all along. This is the perfect fit for me. I was looking at him. Bullshit. I think if you're a Denver Broncos fan, you're looking straight through this and like, yeah, sure. If you wanted him, you could have got him at 17. You could have gotten him in the second round. You could have gotten 2 elite defensive players and gotten Drew Lock. If you really wanted Drew Lock, a developmental piece, and you still had a decent quarterback in Eli Manning, then you would have done it. So I don't really like that comment. I don't like coaches saying, I love this guy in the draft coming out. You didn't have to say that. You just had to say, I'm looking forward to working with Drew Lock. I think if you're in Denver, you're looking straight through it. If you look in this division, It's very interesting. You have Patrick Mahomes, you have Derek Carr, and then you have question mark. Is Drew Lock going to establish himself as the second best quarterback in this league? Obviously, he's never going to be number one, but he's going to need pieces to surround himself with. It's important for Vic Fangio and everybody to commit to a quarterback, because now if you're looking for a quarterback again, what do? You're spending more resources looking for another quarterback. You're trying to make a scheme for a new quarterback. No, you need to you need to name Drew Lock as your starter and surround him with players to make him successful. Matt Paradis didn't have a great season. Their offensive line struggled this year. If you look at Pro Football Focus, they weren't that great on the offensive line this year. And that's a huge thing that you need to focus on this offseason. You have a tight end now, Noah Fant, that you drafted last year. He came in spurts, and he was pretty good. I think this year he's going to take a big step forward. And they drafted Dalton Reisner last year, who they moved over to right guard. He was scouted as a tackle, but I think they moved him over to guard. He played a lot of the offensive snaps. Coming into year 2, I think he's going to make major improvements, and he's going to help Drew Lock out. And I think that you have a bunch of young talent now. You nailed last year's draft. Now it's time to nail this year's draft. You have a young offensive line that you need to mature. And Drew Lock, a big thing about him is he's with the teammates. He understands them. He listens to rap music. There's that clip on the sideline. You may say it's dumb, but that's important to players. Like, I trust this guy. He gets us. He understands us. He understands the culture. He listens to the same music we do. There's somewhat of a disconnect when some players come in and it's just like, oh, he doesn't listen to the same things that we do. Eli didn't really feel like he fit in sometimes. He didn't listen. He didn't hang out with us in the offseason, that sort of thing. But once you win, it's great. Drew Lock, a big quality to him is that he understands everybody, listens to the same music. And Von Miller came out comments, I like Drew Lock. He wasn't like, we'll see. Didn't come up with a political answer. We'll see what Drew Lock does. He's like, no, I believe in Drew Lock. I have confidence in him, and that's a big thing. If you have a defense that believes in the quarterback, that's huge. So with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Blake Bortles, the Bears defense, not so much last year, but when a team gives up on the quarterback, it's like, oh yeah, the quarterback is just going to get a 3-and-out and we're going to have to play on the field again. You don't trust him. I think there's just some sort of trust with the Denver Broncos and Drew Lock. He doesn't even have to win a lot this year. They understand he's still young. They go 7-9, 8-8. I think he could still maintain this locker room. They have a fresh new start. They believe in their defensive coordinator. There's a lot of hope and optimism with this team. The worst thing that can happen is them go 4-12 and be the worst team in this division. As far as what they should do in the draft, we'll discuss more about that later. But I think being in a prime spot, they could take an elite left tackle. They could take an elite wide receiver, and there's a lot of options open to them. But good thing they have a quarterback now that they think they can have for the future. Drew Lock, again, his big arm, I'm not sure whether that's going to be an asset or a liability in this system. I'm not sure if he needs that big arm, but definitely he needs to learn when to run the ball and how to run the ball. And that only comes with reps. And the more first-team reps he gets, especially against their defense in practice, the better off he'll be. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like rating. Let me know, what do you think Drew Lock? A lot of people are saying Denver Broncos are going to be a surprise team next year. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.